Denise, we refer to that as our Zoom Collect. So
And
Okay,
also with you.
tell us about tell us about your organization and the work you do.
I will do that. So, hello, everybody. My name is Denise Shannon, and I am coming to you from Colorado today. I am a ordained pastor in the PCUSA who presently doesn't have her own church, but is doing some short-term contracts locally. But I have become the moderator of the Presbyterian Older Adult Ministry Network, which is also officially known as POAMN. And I'm hoping that a lot of you have heard of us, although it wouldn't surprise me if you hadn't. That's actually how I got started, kind of getting involved with the organization is I was looking for something online for my congregation at the time, and all of a sudden POAMN pops up, and I had never heard of them, even though I've been in the Presbyterian church for most of my life. So I was a little disturbed by that, and so went digging a little bit and found out that this is a organization that is a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of resources, and has been around for a long time. It's been around since 1982. It's part of a bigger group they're changing their name now. And so I always have to think about what they call themselves now. Out of the Presbyterian Mission Agency was the Office of Christian Formation. And we are part of the collective along with the college ministries, the youth ministries, camp and conference centers, and APSE, the Christian educators. So we're part of that bigger group as well. So the organization was started to really promote the development of older adult ministry, not only in congregations, but in other organizations, and really highlight the value that our older adults bring and continue to bring to our work and to what we do and to the ministries that we provide. So our goals have always been fairly the same. It's really to help and nurture faith communities as well as their leadership to develop things, programs that might be helpful, those ministries that might be helpful in keeping our older adults engaged and active, and letting them know that they are a very important part of not only the history of the church, but of the future as well. So we do that in we have kind of three strategic areas that we work in. One is resources and training. And we just have a robust library of things that people can access, from some quick tip sheets and ideas for different types of things that you can do, to actually an annual resource guide or a planning guide, if you will, which our 2025 version just came out, and is something that I actually can have some sent to Larry. If you are interested in that, I can also send it to you individually. But it's a wealth of knowledge of what other people have done in older adult ministry that might be helpful for you when you're trying to rack your brains for how or what to do. So that's something that is available as well. The other area that we spend time in or that we are spending more time in, I should say, starting this year, is in connecting. So we've always had a membership. The membership is $50 a year, and primarily that really pays for a lot of the resources and training and conferences that we provide. But we really find ourselves that we haven't really done well in connecting. Number one, when Larry reached out to me about doing this today, I was really excited because we're finding that that's the way we're getting the word out about what's already there for you. And that is to do these kind of one-on-one connecting with different people, smaller groups, and getting the word out from there. We always thought that our connection was through the presbyteries, and sometimes that's a great thing. And sometimes that doesn't happen, and we know that as well. And so we're spending more time this year doing this connecting piece with other people, other organizations. And so anytime that we are asked to talk with you, we love that. And then the third area is really in partnerships. And so we do have some partnerships with some other people, one of them being with Columbia Theological Seminary. We are in partnership with them as they provide an older adult ministry certificate program, which I don't know if any of you have participated or know about that, but it's 4 classes, and then it provides a certificate in older adult ministry. And it's very reasonably priced, but we work in conjunction with them to offer that. We offer scholarships for people to participate in that. And their lead person also kind of sits on our overall board so that we know that we can always be, well informed about what's happening with them. So those are some of the main areas that we have. Like I said, on our website, and I'll put some things in the chat here in a minute, but on our website, we have multiple resources, whether they be webinars that have already happened. We do have an upcoming webinar on February 24th called Creating a Dementia-Friendly Worship Service. And it's being provided by a couple of people from Point Loma Presbyterian Church in San Diego, California. And they have created a dementia-friendly worship service that they provide within their organization. So there's a webinar coming up on that. So those are the kinds of things that we offer. We also have our annual conference coming up, and that's going to be September 17th through the 19th. It actually is going to be here in Colorado, Boulder, Colorado. That's a beautiful time of year to be here in Colorado. And we're actually partnering a little bit differently this year. We're partnering with a retirement community. And so, Victor, you probably, being part of Presbyterian Homes, we're trying to kind of expand that we're not just hooked to churches, but that there's a lot of places that older adult ministry takes place. So it'll be at Fraser Retirement Community in Boulder, and all that information about that is going to be coming out soon. We're just in the final phases of getting that finalized. Yeah, so those are the things that are kind of happening at the moment. And I really just wanted to kind of bring to you this opportunity that if you go to our website, you will see all the plethora really of resources that you can have. So there's very simple things, there's maybe a little bit more complicated programs that you can implement. And we just got finished last year doing a video series called The Expressions of Older Adult Ministry. And it's a series of videos that you can use within your churches. It actually is well used not only with older adults in a group, but it's also really good for leadership of churches to do as well. And they come with reflection and discussion questions that are already created and there for you. So I encourage you to go there and to look at the things that are available and be able to utilize those. And then to also know that we are here as that, I'll put Barbara, I'll put everything in the chat here in just a minute. But I just, to reach out to us if we can be of help. If you need a resource that you're not finding, or you're just going, I've got this going on, and has anybody else dealt with it? We have the ability to connect people as well, people that we know and people that can be helpful and be mentors for you when it comes to older adult ministry. So I will stop there and see what kind of questions people have.
What have been the more successful programs that you can recommend?
I think the dementia-friendly worship service has been really popular because we have so many more of our people that are experiencing dementia. So that's really helpful. This new video series, The Expressions of Older Adult Ministry, it has a variety of subject matters, and people have been giving us some really good feedback about how that's been really useful in their congregation. The planning guide is also a wonderful thing. So I have regular copies, but there's also a digital copy on the website. So you don't have to have the printed copy, but I can get that to you if you would like. And that has so much in it.
Can you see the videos on your website?
Yes, it's under, they're called Expressions of Older Adult Ministry. And they're under, when you go under resources on our website, you will see everything that is listed there as our resources.
Are there certain things in a regular service that get recommended?
There's not. I think that I haven't seen anything that's a theme or anything like that. I think there's just, it's really about coming up with different ideas about what can be included, not only in a worship service, but in other activities within the church. There's a lot of things on there about intergenerational activities, hooking up our younger people with our older adults and the benefits and ways to do that. So that's helpful too.
Any specific activities?
There's one there that talks about Bible journaling. I actually did this in my church. It was an intergenerational activity where we would meet every other week. And I had people who from age 11 to age 90 who would come together, and we would dig into the Bible. So we would have a Bible verse of the night, and we would read it, we would talk about it, we would reflect on it, and then we would incorporate journaling activities as well as arts and crafts, people who like to be very crafty and with color and stickers and things like that. We would create journals that help people kind of reflect a little bit more deeper about the Bible verse. And it was created out of an idea that we want to dig deeper, but Bible study can be boring sometimes. So this was a way of making it a little bit more fun and a way of bringing the generations together. And it was amazing to watch how insightful our younger people are and what they can bring to a discussion like that. And then those that have been, lifelong churchgoers, lifelong Bible readers, what they can bring and how they can teach the younger people. So it was a really great activity to bring groups together. Yeah.
Denise, will I find on your website any resources that might help a congregation that has a number of members who could profit by having respite care? Let's say that there's a spouse that is a caretaker for someone with some pretty significant elder care needs. Is there anything there? And if so, where would I find it?
Yeah, there is not on the website. That's actually an area, that's where we want to expand this year, is to get into those caregiving, sandwich generation, respite care, those kind of resources more, because we know that everybody is dealing more and more with those things. So at the moment there's not, but I appreciate the question because I know that that's on our list for 2025 is to look at those things.
So just move it up high on the list, okay?
Yeah,
Denise?
exactly,
Happy.
exactly. Well, this is actually great because that's exactly how things get moved up on the list, right? Hey, I had this conversation with these people today that, these are the issues that are coming up. And that's what we want to hear too. What are the issues? Just because it's an issue here doesn't mean everybody has it. But I think that's one that probably most everybody on the call is dealing with it at some level.
Thank
So,
you. Yeah.
yeah, thanks. Good question.
Denise, in addition to the need for respite care, do you have resources related to, say, offices for the aging in county offices and community centers, and the work and how one might build relationships?
That's really good. No, so those are not usually they have in the past. So know that POAMN just went through a strategic kind of restructuring last year. For this reason, for the reason being is we need to be looking forward and thinking about what are all of the ways that we can be that conduit of connecting people with good places within their location. And so I really appreciate this conversation because this is really helpful, but we don't have that currently. But what a great idea of having that kind of a resource there about different areas. So we might be reaching out and asking for people to help us with that because that's a lot to gather. But centers on aging, senior centers are always or can be helpful. I know some areas have Presbyterian homes. We don't here, so that's not a resource for us. But I'm writing it down. And the lucky thing is this afternoon, we actually have a board meeting. So we're going to be talking about some of these things. So this will be great.
Yeah, our congregation has an exercise program.
Oh.
And it's not just for members, it's for anyone in the community. And then they actually help participate and volunteer with some of our other mission outreach programs.
What a great idea. How many people usually come?
There are, at the moment, I think last summer with the initial director, it's twice a week. There are 4 sessions altogether. Wow. And we have probably in the neighborhood of about 50 or so signed up. She moved, but it's coming back for the summer. We have added Tai Chi from someone in the community. And the other day, we'll do a YouTube class. But this group is still, there's still probably at least 30 people, 30 to 50 altogether.
How wonderful. And I'm assuming most of the people that come, are they fairly close? So it's mostly people in the community, or do people drive in?
People will drive in.
Nice. Oh no. Oh, there. Okay. Okay. I thought I lost you. Yeah, that's a great, I think that's a great thing. And I might, Betsy, if it's okay, I might reach out to you and see if we can maybe I'll do a little write-up about that to send out in the newsletter that we do every month. Because we try to include those ideas, in the newsletter as well, because we know sometimes that's the way to get to people.
We would be more than happy to
very great
participate.
Great. Nice. Anything else? I was just appreciative of the fact that there was an interest and that you'd like a little bit of information about the organization. I find it to be, there's lots of people who've been involved with it for a long time. And then there's people like me who just really have gotten involved in the last year because I just found out about it. So I think I appreciate the opportunity to get the word out. It is really a great resource. There's some really good things that have already been created that are already there to help you in the ministry that you're doing, wherever that might be. So
Well, since we have your brain to pick, Denise, let me ask you for your thoughts on the following initiative. So at our church, we're going to start next month bi-monthly small group conversations around. I think the theme is still in development around Jesus and 2025.
Mm.
Because there's just a longing to have conversation, anything from maybe from a Bible scripture to actual current events and how that affects people in the group. So that's the broad topic. So tell me, what would anything on your website, where would you point me? Is there anything on your website that might add to what these groups might be talking or doing?
Yes, I would really highly recommend that you look at the resource expressions of older adult ministry.
Okay.
Because in there, like I said, those are videos along with questions, but they deal with a variety of topics. If they do deal with topics such as the LGBTQ, uh, not only members that we may have in our areas, but just in general. And so that's just an example. But I think that you will find in there that there might be a few that might be very relevant to how this might be structured, and it might help you structure it, I'm thinking as well. It probably doesn't address everything maybe that it needs to address, but I think that's a good starting point. And at least as a resource that you could use in this group.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yep. What a great group though. That would be awesome. I would love to hear more about that as it gets going. That would be an awesome thing to highlight too. I think that would be needed in a lot of places.
Well, I will take your words of encouragement as an omen that all will go well. There seems to be some interest in sharing fellowship around the challenges that are, in front of all of us, regardless of the age. And maybe it's because older people like me, we've been around a few decades and, have maybe a different perspective than some that haven't. And
Right.
maybe we're more attuned to the warning signs than
Yeah.
others. So yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, because that would be an excellent to me, and to pull in younger people too, as an intergenerational type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I do think my experience has been when you do that, you definitely can look at things from a very different perspective when you have all ages and all generations and all ways of thinking involved. It really expands everybody's knowledge and reflection, ability to reflect on what somebody else might say. But sounds great. Sounds like something that we all would love. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Coming close to the end of our time today.
Okay,
Denise sent me a flyer for the organization that I will send to everyone along with the link to the video. And it's got
Yes.
website, Facebook, QR code, resources. So
yep.
whatever
And
you're
I'm
looking for.
whatever you're looking for. And if you don't see it, contact me. I'm putting my contact information in the chat, and I'll find it for you if we need to do, because chances are somebody else has thought about that same thing. It's chances are that there's somebody who's got something that you could utilize. So just let me know and I'll be happy to connect you.
Thank you.
And if you would like a hard copy of that planning guide, just send me an email and I will send one out to you.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Well, Denise, thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you. Joy to have you with us today. Did you say you're in Boulder?
No, well, I live just north of Denver in a suburb called Thornton, but that's not far from Boulder. So, but Boulder is where the conference will be in September.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments or questions?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's end with a prayer poem by Wendell Berry. All that I serve will die. My delights, the flesh kindled from my flesh, garden and field. The silent lily standing in the woods, the hill, the whole earth, all will burn in man's evil or dwindle of its own age. Let the world bring on me the sleep of darkness without stars, that I may know my little light taken for me into the seed of the beginning and the end, so that I may bow to the mystery. Take my stand on the earth, like a tree in a field, passing without haste or regret toward what will be. My life, a patient, willing descent into the grass. Friends, the Lord be with you.
And
Thanks
with
for
you.
you.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.
Bye.